Solana spent the entire commercial break mother bleeping Clay Ferrero for his takes on the Heat. That he completely disagrees. Solana believes if you add Dame Lillard and Bradley Beal, which again is the scenario that Barry Jackson laid out, which it seems kind of implausible, but also, I guess, like Solana says, if you go all in, it's luxury tax, be damned, and you just make it happen. It could theoretically happen. Solana believes Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Dame Lillard, Bradley Beal, absolute unstoppable force. And my only caution to him was, you really have to be careful that you don't go into a Rudy Gobert situation, which is you give everything for something and it doesn't work. Because the only thing I would say to you, Solana, and I was saying to him during the break, Dame Lillard never was able to do anything really in Portland with CJ McCollum. Bradley Beal's never been able to do anything. And so you wonder, like, do you play a longer game? Because at some point, Zion Williamson may become available legitimately, or Ja Morant, as we kind of goofed around with in the top of the show. Like, I don't know if I would go all bleeping in on Dame and Beal.
If Damian Lillard and Bradley Beal are on the Heat this year, they have a chance to beat the Nuggets. We talked about it. Is there another team in the league that could have beat the Nuggets on the East if the Heat didn't beat them? No. If Bradley Beal and Dame are on this team, they could have beat the Nuggets. Hoch, you just like, what's the long game? Seeing if Tyler becomes a real legit number two.
Well, I'm just saying
Zion Williamson. I know y'all love Zion Williamson. You add Zion Williamson to this team, that's the answer. I just know if you're going all in, and we know Pat Riley's getting older, go win a championship.
But, and this is what I said to Solana, we kind of feel, because we had an experience with our big three where they went to the finals 4 years in a row. We have this feeling the Heat are immune to putting guys together and it not working. But you've seen it time and time again. Brooklyn, just most recently, right? Where on paper, that team should have run through the East and run through Denver to win a finals. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, I'm not so certain that I go, okay, Dame Lillard and Bradley Beal added to this roster. There you go. Slam dunk. They're going to the finals every year. I don't know if I'm there yet.
And Hoch, and we'll go closer. The more recent KD with Devin Booker and Chris Paul. Oh, there we go. They're winning the West. They got their ass drug by the Nuggets. But the cog that Brooklyn didn't have and that Phoenix didn't have, and to answer your question, Eric Spoelstra is going to figure out how to maximize and use every single person that you put on his team. He's done it. Let's think about it. Josh Richardson. We watched Hassan Whiteside. We've seen what they developed with Tyler and with Bam. Everyone here is going to maximize. Bradley Beal is going to become a better player, and Damian Lillard, I don't know how the hell he can get better, but I bet some number will go up when Spo gets a hold of it.
That is the wild card for me, because all the examples that I give, although I thought Monty Williams was the right guy in Phoenix, but they didn't even have a full season together.
I mean, and don't forget Durant in layup lines. This first game got injured. Like they might have played 10 games together prior to the playoffs, maybe, if that. I don't remember exactly, but
Spo is the wild card. Like that really, like, that's kind of the great equalizer. If you have a little bit of trepidation about doing something like that, the fact that you have Eric Spoelstra probably pushes you over the edge.
Mr. 305. Dale. God bless.
Dale.
Muchas gracias, Jimmy.
Por nada. And I love it when you call me Big Papa.
Have we ever given that to DVJ? I love it when you call me Big Papa.
I think we have.
Have we given that to him?
I don't know. We should do it again.
All right, we'll do it again.
Hoch, don't you think, though, that, I mean, we saw it 2 years ago. Kevin Durant steps on the line in the playoffs against Milwaukee. Had his foot or his toe been half an inch smaller, they probably win that series, probably go on to win a title. Kyrie, I mean, I know all the off the court stuff, whatever, we could talk about it, but he was injured and James Harden was injured. Like, I think if that team was healthy, they probably do win the title. I mean, I know we're talking semantics here, but they probably do go on farther.
Here's the only thing that this is
semifinal.
why I won't go down that road with you, because we did it before the team was built. You looked at it on paper, and this team was impossible to beat. And then we watched them, and listen, things happen all the time, but we watched them. They were never on the same page, even if they weren't on the court together. They were never on the same page. So now that it was a complete disaster, I'm not going to do the same thing again where I go, no, on paper, though, it looks like they're going to run through everybody. I saw it. It was a disaster.
But Steve Nash was their head coach.
No.
And
I
Brooklyn,
understand. I understand. But you're going to do the same thing again here.
I am.
Which is, we actually saw the result of it. It was a massive failure. And
Correct. But Brooklyn has been a massive failure as an organization. I think stability comes into play. And there are very few leagues or rather organizations around the league that have the stability to put together a team like this and not allow it to really go up in flames.
I agree.
I really struggle with the idea of the Heat putting Damian Lillard and Bradley Beal around Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, and they're not a contender. Like, I don't see how that's even
They're
possible.
already a finals team is my point. Now you're going to give away everything. They're already a finals team. So I think that plays into it as well, because you're going, hey, they're a contender. Well, guess what? They're already a contender. They've been a contender 2 out of the 3 years that Jimmy's been here. So I you know what I mean? Like, I think you have to take that into account as well.
That'll be the answer, Hawk. They were a contender, and now that pushes them over the edge.
Well, does
Going
it?
out
If
and
it does, it's a no-brainer. I'm not willing to say it absolutely does.
Hawk, Damian Lillard. You're bringing up Bradley Beal. You hate Bradley Beal. Damian.
I want to make this clear, because I think they're going to end up with Bradley Beal. I want to make this clear. I do not hate Bradley Beal. I hate the fact that we've had a conversation about Bradley Beal. And by the way, I think I texted you guys this day 6 years ago. You and I were doing the show in Vegas. Rudy Gay came over and spent some time with us. Rudy Gay was another guy that we talked about year after year after year. He's so interested in the Heat. He has a house in Miami. He's going to end up on the Heat. Another guy we talked about. And then I'm kind of starting to feel this way about Dalvin Cook. I mean, listen, I mean, wait till they get here.
You hate rumors, it sounds like.
The only one I didn't hate was Vic Fangio. I could have done that for years.
Just adding Damian Lillard to this team.
I would give up anything for Damian Lillard. I would give up anything.
So the Solana's, or whoever who did it, Barry Jackson. Like, now you add Bradley Beal. Now you add a guy that finishes and even better than Tyler Hero in the mid-range jumpers and all that stuff we know. Yeah, you add that, but Damian Lillard in himself is now making this team the favorite in the East. If they add Damian Lillard and lose, who would it be? Losing Tyler and Caleb,
and all their draft
they
picks.
would. But next season, would they be favored in the East after going to the finals?
Hold on, let me think about this. Giannis, Middleton. Who am I missing in Milwaukee?
Drew Holiday.
But
if Beal doesn't come here, as we heard from Clay, Milwaukee's
end up in Milwaukee,
a huge contender to land him, and they would probably have to trade Drew Holiday.
Let's say, though, Beal and Lillard sign with Miami. Is Miami the odds-on favorite to win the East?
Yes.
It's not even close. I don't think. And I think they might be a favorite to win the title. Odds-on favorite to win the title. And Crowder, here's my rationale, because I think Barry outlined it very well. Just adding one of those guys, right? You'd have to get rid of Tyler and you'd have to get rid of Kyle Lowry just to make the contracts work, the salaries match. You're already a tax team. Like, you're going to be in the tax anyways. So you're going to be penalized just adding one of those guys. Now you have the opportunity. Again, this would be insane if they were able to pull it off, but it is possible the way Barry Jackson outlines it. Credit to him. You're already going to be penalized. So why not pay more if you're in the tax anyways? And I know we're talking about somebody's money, But it makes sense. Go all in. This is Pat Riley's last chance right here. This is it. This is the window. Jimmy Butler signed for 3 more years, I believe. Those draft picks, like you're bringing in rookies with Jimmy Butler. The idea in this next window of Jimmy Butler's era is that they're always going to be a contender. So those draft picks aren't really going to be lottery picks. They're not going to be, these super desirable picks anyways. And what are you're bringing in young guys like Jovic, who aren't going to end up playing anyways with Jimmy Butler. Like, you use everything you have right now to go put this together so that the next 3-4 years, your core is Bam Adebayo, Bradley Beal, Damian Lillard, and Jimmy Butler. And it alleviates so much of what Jimmy Butler has to do. And we saw the toll it takes on his body because he is aging. And you're adding 2 of the best scorers in the league, which is what Miami needs. And then the idea that they're not going to be able to fill players around them. The Heat made Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, Duncan Robinson, like, really good. And they've done that time and time again. You're telling me they're not going to be able to keep a youth movement going where they're able to maximize young guys who nobody's heard of, plus the amount of aging superstars who are going to want to sign here on the minimum? Like, that's why I didn't agree with Clay, because his idea is, well, how are you going to fill out the roster? They've shown you that they can fill out the roster with anybody and that they'll be able to maximize them. Go get your guys right now. This is your last window under the Riley era to go all in. And if this is attainable, they should go all in for it.
And to be honest, Pat. Pat says F them picks.
Mm-hmm.
Pat ain't worried about the pick. I just looked it up. 08 when they had Michael Beasley. 09 second round picks. 2010 second round picks. 2011 second round pick.
Well, that's because of LeBron. That's also because of LeBron. Like, they said F them picks with LeBron, but since then they've done a really good job at drafting.
Well, Bam and Tyler, you can hold them out. Those are 2 really good draft
Those
picks.
are the 2 ones. Arnett, Moultrie traded. PJ Hairston traded. Justice Winslow didn't work out. Bam and Tyler. Casey Okpala. Precious Achua traded. And Nikola Jovic. Like, great picks, huh? Like, no. Tyler and Bam worked out. The rest of these guys, I don't even know where they are. They might not be in the league anymore.
Well, also, that has something to do with them being a very successful organization and not having lottery picks. I mean,
yeah.
And never tanking, right? Like, the idea that they're always trying to put together the best roster on the court. Even if they miss the playoffs, they always refuse to go the route of we're tanking, because that's just the way that they operate.
And the approach. There's teams right now drafting to the tanking conversation. Teams drafting to try to make the playoffs. The Heat aren't trying to make the playoffs anymore. The Heat are not trying to make the finals. They've made it a number of years now. The Heat are trying to win a title. That's the goal as soon as the season starts.
Right. But again, Mickey Arison could say, yes, the goal is to win a title, but the goal is to win a title in the parameters that I'm not going to get taxed $50 million in order to do so, which is legitimate.
Yeah. Remember, he got rid of Mike Miller because he didn't want to pay.
Yeah, they amnestied Mike Miller. A lot of people
That's
feel
why LeBron left.
That was one of the reasons LeBron James left. Yeah.
He wanted to win one for Cleveland.
Would be funny as hell if that's why he left. I mean, like, what? Like, who has deluded themselves into believing that's why he left? All right, let's get headlines real quick, because Lee Sterling's going to join us this hour. Here's headlines with Alejandro Solana.
The sports update driven by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Super
Probably
Center.
doesn't even have Mike Miller's name and number in his contacts. That's why he left the Heat. I defy Mike Miller to try to get a hold of LeBron James during the offseason. He has got as good a chance as I do. That's why he left.
New phone, who this?
Yeah.
Mike Miller had one good game with the Miami Heat. If you really think about it, he had one good game. I mean, he had his moments.
That game was amazing.
Game 5, the closeout game, first title against Oklahoma City, loses his shoe, knocks down the 3. But you want to know something about that game? They were going to win it anyways. They didn't need Mike Miller. They won that game by like 30 points. They were going to win it anyways.
It's amazing how the arc of a storyline can change over the course of time. Like, I can only imagine what Solana used to say about Mike Miller. And now it's like, one game and they don't want anyway.
Dude spent more time at the chiropractor than he did on the damn court. And LeBron's mad that we're letting him
how
go.
about you tie your shoe?
Boy, y'all are nasty.
Oh, I forgot he's a Florida Gator. That's why you're not jumping in here, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got my Gator shirt on right now.
Mm-hmm.